Hey Jennifer, this is Donnie of the Marketing Twins. I want to do this little tutorial on how to do something with these rotating images. These featured images is what they call them technically. Um, I'm not sure if you're going to need to change these a whole lot, but if you do, I'm going to show you how to change it. There are a couple of things that you need to know that I'm not sure if you're going to have the ability to do or not, but I'm going to show you how to do it. All right. So again, these are the what they call featured images. I'm going to show you how to get to that. So on your dashboard, you scroll down here to My Theme. And under My Theme, there are two things called rotating images and featured images. If you will ignore the rotating images, that's something you just don't need right now. It's a kind of another version of this that we don't want to use. This is the featured images is what we want to use. So click that. Now, as you'll see, all of these images are the same size. They have to be for it to work. So you can see here that the uploaded image should be 584 pixels wide by 388 pixels high. Now, I'm not sure if you have the software to be able to do that, or if you have a photographer who wants to take the picture, ask him or her to submit to you the photograph under those dimensions. And you want a web format, and anybody who knows anything about graphic design or usually photography will know that an image, if you just took a picture of any cupcake, it's going to be large. It's a high resolution image. High resolution images don't work on websites very well. They work, but they take forever to open because you got to remember some people are still on dial up, and even though the high speed internet is good, images you don't want to sit on a page and wait for several seconds for an image to load. So the images have to be saved in web format. And again, any graphic designer or photographer is going to know if you told them I need this photograph in web format and at these dimensions. And so that's why if you'll see some of the images, these are all the ones that are rotating in there right now. You'll see pictures of cupcakes you sent us, and those worked pretty well. We were able to work with most of those, and I think we had to crop a few of them to fit that dimensions. But then we had some that were more casual shots, like the birthday party or people eating, and that's where we had to add in the little graphic stuff to make it fit. We had to create a 584 by 388 box, put a picture in one side of it, and the other side put some words and text and so forth like that. So as you're thinking about, hey, this would be a great photo for that rotates on my homepage, don't take a vertical picture. Don't take one that's a person standing. If you said, well, I'm going to turn my camera sideways and take a picture standing, because that's not going to show up very well, because you can see these are more horizontal. It's more wide than it is high. So you got to think through, if you want this picture on the website, make sure you take it in a way that looks kind of like a more vertical picture or more horizontal picture, less vertical, if you that makes any sense at all. Okay, so once you have the picture in the format that you need it, which is in a web format plus which is a low resolution web format, and you have it in this particular size, then all you have to do is simply upload the image. Now I'm going to show you just as an example of what one looks like if it does not set up this way. So all you have to hit is, again, you're just adding a new image here, and it says image not will be resized and cropped to fit. That's not necessarily true because it doesn't know exactly. So I'm going to use that pina colada one that I used on another tutorial. And this picture is a tall picture. Now I can also link this, so I could even say on here that I want this to go to, let's say you had a picture about wholesale, and I don't know, you took a picture of somebody taking a large bunch of them for wholesale purposes. You could actually link that over to the wholesale page, and you can hit add image. Now, when I do that, it adds it in right here. It puts the link on there. Now, some of these we didn't have the link on because we didn't feel like we needed it on every one of them. And I'll show you how to change that here in a minute. If I wanted this one you can see it's real simple to reorder them. All I'm doing is clicking those arrows. So you may say, well, I want one about wholesale, but I want it stuck in the middle here. Because you have, what, 8 or 9, 10 pictures here. So you're counting on somebody taking the time to actually sit at the home page and watch all these rotate. So if now we sit here and as these continue to scroll through, you're going to see that pina colada picture and how distorted it looks. So just as a reminder, when you're taking pictures and that you want, make sure they're more horizontal than they are vertical. The picture of the pina colada was a very skinny picture, but a very tall picture to allow for the umbrella and the cupcake to show up. And here in a second, you're going to see that one come up, and you're going to see how distorted it looks. And it's right after this one is where it's going to come up. And you can see how it's just kind of cropped off, and it's stretched it, and it doesn't look very good. So we don't want that. And so now I will delete that. If you ever wanted to delete a picture, if you decided, one of these girls you didn't want on there, or you didn't want one of these pictures on here, you click the box that you want, and then you go down here to delete. And then the other thing I wanted to show you how to do is how to edit the image setting. So in fact, what I'll do is I'll go and delete that off. So I put check there, delete here. It says yes, you want to do that. And now we see it no longer on here. I like to go down there and save these settings just to make sure. Now, you can see here that I don't have links on all these. So let's say I want to do that. I just click over here to edit image settings. And this is where I type in my new URL. Okay. And I update my image settings after I'm done. And if I had done that, there would be a new URL here. Now the other thing, again, you can reorder these. You can move these up around individually as you need to. And make sure my window is there. You can see it probably better now. The arrow is up and down. So if I wanted to move the girl with the yellow above this one, all I have to do is click the arrow button and it does it. If I don't like it, I can move it back down. And this may be important for those times when you say you've got a big event and you're trying to highlight something. You may want that big event at the when you add the new one, it's going to put it at the bottom, but you may just reorder it and move it all the way up to the top so that when someone comes to your website for the very first time, that's the first thing they see. Right now, the daisy is the first thing they see. So you can reorder things as you need to. Now, the last thing I'll show you about these is I can actually put a default one on there so that if it doesn't have a URL, it will go somewhere. This here, we want to have these things fade in and out. We think that's a nice little look, and this is how we've done that. But if people say, well, I like those pictures, but they don't stay on long enough for me to see it, they change too quickly. You can change this to 6 seconds if you want to. If you wanted to blend them better, you could do. You can see here I saved this. It's a 6 and 3. Now what happens is I'm going to go back to refresh my browser, and you can see that Daisy's going to stay on a little bit longer, but at 6 seconds it's going to start to fade, but it's going to take longer to fade in. It's going to be a slower fade. So it just depends on what your preference is, but that's how you would go back. I'm going to change those back to the original so that it stays up for 5 seconds and then makes a quicker fade over to the new version, new picture that's up there. So that's how you do the featured images. I may call them rotated images, but they are featured images, and that's how you get those up there. Thanks.